What is your military ghost story? Not mine story. Not even sure if it's real, but it's a fun one. There was an airman in the dorms at some base, IDK, which, good airman, never any issues. He was Hispanic and very religious, and that demographic takes ghosts and spirits very seriously. Well, apparently, this airman started showing up to work late, messy, out of regs, and performing poorly increasingly over the course of a few weeks. He had a good track record, so at first his supervisors were giving him the benefit of the doubt, but it went on too long and got too frequent that they had to talk to him about it. He said nothing, didn't explain what was going on, just basically sat there and let the supervisors talk to him. Well, this behaviour continued, more and more to the point where he started getting in trouble. LOCs, getting chewed out, you know the usual. However, this didn't deter his behaviour, and it only kept getting worse, and finally, they encouraged him to go to mental health, he did, and they found out that this airman fully, truthfully in their mind, thought their dorm room was haunted. The mental health clinic did not think the airman was lying. At least the airman fully believed that there was 100% a ghost in his form, but obviously there's no ghost, right? So clearly he has a mental health issue going on. They eventually had to move to separate this individual for his psychosis and poor work performance and standards upkeep. He was a good airman, and they didn't want to, but they had to. Well, Shirt comes to the dorm to help move the airman out and goes into the dorm closet to help get all his stuff. Shirt looks up at the ceiling, and in a vent, no shit, he sees a face staring back at him through the vent. Shirt absolutely shits himself. Lo and behold, an airman who had gone AWOL was literally living in the fucking walls of the dorms building, and would particularly use this airman's dorm to go to the bathroom, stretch out, whatever. So airman number one would be laying in bed and literally hear another person crawl from out of the wall, out of their closet, and nonchalantly waltz into his bathroom and back into the wall on a regular basis. No fucking shit he thought his dorm was haunted, especially considering his background. Airman 2, the ghost, was removed from the base and Airman 1's health improved and was able to stay in the Air Force. Happy ending. Warehouse 1 on Kadena. Back when I was on swing some months back, I was heading to the pilf cage with another airman in my shop so we could put away the knives and shit that needed putting away. Since swing shift was slow as fuck, and we had a lot of bulky shit, we were just going to out it in the pilf cage, go to lunch, and sign it all in when we got back. As we're both walking up to the door, we hear scurrying footsteps behind us in the corner of the warehouse, leading to where TMO inbound usually works. We both look back and stare at nothing while we track the footsteps continuing to the dark corner of the warehouse before finally stopping. Mind you, our warehouse has motion sensor lights, and nothing came on. You can bet your sweet ass we left, got our asses back to the office and didn't go back in the warehouse unless we had to. Also, earlier that night, our NCOIC and one of our NCOs, Filipino and Samoan, respectively, were talking about ghost stories from back home. Said NCOIC also heard some weird sucking and slurping noises coming from somewhere in the office but couldn't figure out where it was. Couple those with the other airmen hearing a shriek in the warehouse, we spent the rest of that week travelling in pairs in that place.